Welcome back to the Hawg Wild Designs YouTube channel. I'm Mary, and today's project is part of the Apple Boughs and Bushel Baskets collection. We are working on the Harvest Day Pocket Duo loaded pockets. In this kit, you will receive 3 PDF pages, and it will be enough to create 2 pockets. So here is an example of them that I've already created for us. So we have a dangle. Here we have our plaque is a little raised with some foam tape. And then on this one, we also have 2 tags. And then we have our little clip art pieces. Fussy cuts are just kind of tucked inside as well. You can choose to do whatever you would like with them, but for this one I just kind of tuck them inside here. And we also have a more of a 3D element here where I've attached this piece with some foam tape as well. So for this project, basically some basic supplies. I use a 8-inch scissor to make my larger cuts around the pockets and things like that. And then I like to use a smaller scissor. I think this is 4 to 6 inches long, but it has really sharp and it cuts really intricately to create or to do all the cuts on what I'm calling as our fussy cuts, our clip art pieces. So, and then a hole punch. You don't need anything this elaborate. This one will also do your grommets if you choose to put grommets in your tags and things like that. We're going to use a brown ink. This is just chocolate brown. It's a acid-free ink, and then with a little dauber distressing tool. I have a lighter here, and I'll share a tip why I have a lighter. And then my favorite glue, and that's that art glitter glue. I like it because it dries quickly and it dries clear. So we'll get started. Did I say foam tape? Here's our foam tape. So we're going to get started, and we're going to start off with, we're going to distress this one here. So I'm just going to distress around all of my edges on all of these pieces. You can choose to distress or not. That is an optional thing. Some people like it and some people don't. I think it just gives an extra dimension if I choose to distress my projects. On this piece here, you don't really have to distress too much on the bottom, just on this upper edge, because everything else is going to be hidden. I'm going to get my little fussy cuts, give them a little distress too. This project is really quick and easy. If you're looking for just a quick project just for some creative time and just a little distressing, this is a great little project. You can choose to do one of the pockets and do the other one another time. It's just a little me time. My projects thus far are all beginner friendly, so anyone can pick up this project and craft with it. One more here, and then we'll get putting this together. All right. you'll notice that I have a mat here, and the mat is what we are going to use. Where are they? There it is. Thought I lost it. We are going to use a X-Acto knife. That was another item that we were gonna, you don't need it, but I choose to use it. You can use a scissor to kind of punch that out, and we're gonna get rid of this white space here. But I think for me, a X-Acto knife is just gonna give me a better outcome. So I'm just running my knife around those edges. And it should almost just punch right out for us. There we go. We got that little piece. Make sure you cover your X-Acto knife back up so you don't injure yourself. So that is ready for us. So now let's grab our two pieces, our backer and our pocket itself. And these two pieces line up really nicely. So what we're going to do is we're just going to run some glue around these three edges. I'm going to use my art glitter glue here. And I'm going to line it up. As best I can. And then I like to kind of run my finger around that where we place the glue. It helps just to give it a little extra. Make sure that the two pieces of paper are attaching well. We're going to get rid of that mat. We don't need that anymore. So now we're going to grab our little basket that fits right here. And you can choose to glue this down flush, but I like the effect that it gives by raising it up just a little bit. And I'm using this foam tape. And so we're going to apply some foam tape to the back of it. Okay, and then we're going to need to take the backer off that tape. Okay, and we're going to set that down here in the corner. Now I want to be careful laying this down. I'm kind of hovering it over here, making sure it's in the position I want, because once I lay it down with that tape, we're not going to have an opportunity to pick it up and move it. So there's where I want it. Perfect. Now we're going to grab our little plaque, and our plaque is going to go right about here. But I don't think that I distressed all of this. So I'm going back where I cut away the white, and I'm just giving it a little extra distressing in there, just to kind of cover up that white so it's not so stark. And then this is going to go here, but you'll notice by raising that up, it allows us to tuck that corner of this little sign underneath our apple basket here. So I'm going to grab my glue. I'm going to apply a little bit of glue to the rope here, and then we'll glue the the plaque. That's gonna tuck in or keep out here. I'm just kind of centering it out there. Looks good. All right, next thing we have is we have our two little fussy cuts and our two tags, and we can choose to glue our fussy cuts onto our tags, or we can make little dangles out of them. And I might put him there. No, I don't. I think we're just going to tuck these little trucks, our little fussy cuts, inside our tag. But I am going to embellish up my tags, and I have some ribbons cut here, and I am just going to grab my ribbon. I'm going to fold it in half, and I'm going to take the folded end and run it through the hole in the front. Then I'm taking those tails and I'm going to run it through the loop, the ribbon loop back here, and then kind of pull it tight, but being careful so that I don't pull too hard. And then on our ends of our ribbons here, I'm going to dovetail them. I'm going to fold my ribbon in half. I'm going to take my little fussy cut scissors, because they're nice and sharp. I'm going to go on the folded edge, and I'm going to snip up towards the end of the ribbon. And there is our dovetail. Do the same thing with this one. Fold it in half on the folded end. I'm going to take my scissors on the folded side and snip up towards the end of the ribbon, and there are our dovetails. And then on this ribbon I have a piece of organza ribbon. I'm going to angle these ends. And one thing with organza ribbon is that I have found that it tends to fray, and to help that is that I'm taking a flame and I want to singe the ends. Just a little bit, being pretty careful that I don't burn the ends, then I'd have to start over. Or it could go up in flames. that wouldn't be so cool. I'm going to do the same thing, taking that looped end, running it through my hole in my tag, taking my tails and running it through the loop in the back with my ribbon. And then our tags are ready. Another tool I use is a bone folder, and I like to run my bone folder inside my pockets, especially if they're pockets that are glued flat to your paper. It gives a little extra wiggle room so that you can feed these in a little easier. I'm going to put this one behind. It's just a little fatter, whiter. I'm going to stick him back there. And then I'm just going to take my little fussy cuts and we're just going to tuck them inside here. Just like so. So that one is complete. We'll set that aside, and we'll quickly, before I go on, I want to put my pin back in my art glitter glue. One thing that I have found that this glue dries quickly. My glue is going to dry quickly in this metal nozzle as well, so I want to make sure that I get that back in there so that I don't have a problem later on. All right, so let's grab our other pieces here quick. We're going to distress these edges quick. hope that if you've purchased this kit, or if you haven't purchased the kit, there will be a link to going to my website that you can purchase these items. Now this particular one is free to use, so you will have to check out through my website to obtain it, but a link will be available once you check out. You also receive an email, so you'll get both of them. And there will be a link to the project itself. I will also share a link to the whole collection. The collection contains stuffed pockets. There are some really fun interactive pieces. There's a grandma's recipe box. We have 2 different digital papers. There are a bunch of fussy cuts and ephemera pieces. I think it was like 413 pieces, individual pieces in that particular kit. I have 2 paper packs I mentioned, but one is more of a 2-page spread. If you're going to make a journal, you would have what do you call it? Landscape version instead of a portrait version, so that you could create pages. So I really enjoy creating these kits for you. It's really rewarding to me. It lets me use my imagination and creativity, and then have my ideas come to life are really a lot of fun. So if there's any special requests on things you'd like to see in the future, I'd love to hear. All right, so now we're going to take this backer and our pocket. One thing, for some reason, the pocket itself is just slightly larger than the backer piece. I had a little miscalculation there when I created it, but we can still work with that. So what we're going to do, instead of applying the glue to the pocket itself, we're going to apply the glue to the backer piece. But I'm going to put my backer piece on here and make reference to how far up it goes, because I don't want to put glue clear to the top and then not have my paper cover it. So I'm making note that it's going to be right along this particular stripe in our gingham, so I don't want to go past that. So I'm really just starting on the stripe right underneath it, and I'm going to put my glue right to the edge on the backer piece. And then I'm going to lay it down, and then I'm going to position this over it, trying to center it as best I can. Like so. That looks good. Again, I'm running my finger over that glue line just to help it adhere just a little bit better. All right, so now we have this piece here, and that gets positioned right down here, and then this is going to go up here in our clouds. But this one here, I am going to glue flat to the pocket. My light went out for some reason, so hopefully we can finish this here quick. Then here, I'm going to put the foam tape on the back. So I'm going to try to move along because my phone might die. I have it plugged in. I'm not sure what's going on. All right, I'm gonna grab or peel this backer off. And then we're going to lay that, centered it as best I can, and we'll put that right here. All right, then I have my two, let's get our pin back in here quick. All right, then we have these two tags and these two ephemera pieces. I think this truck is going to go there, and I'm going to make a dangle out of this. So, well, I got premature there. We're going to put some glue on the back of the truck. We're going to glue it to our tag. I'm putting him at an angle. You can put it however you like. Let's get that back in there. And then I have my two ribbons here. I'm going to put this, we're going to go this way. This ribbon I am going to just feed it through my pocket, and I'm just going to knot it. This is going to give it a slightly different look than if I would fold it in half and feed it through there. So there. Again, I'm going to dovetail, fold my ends together here, snip on the folded edge up towards the end of the ribbon. Do the same on the other side. And there's our dovetails. We'll do the same over here. We're gonna angle our ends a little bit more. Grab our lighter and singe the ends clear quick. This one, oops, I want to make a dangle out of it, so I'm going to put a hole right about here. And then I'm going to feed my ribbon, the loop end through the fussy cut image, and then through my tag. Grab those tails, feed it through the loop. Like so. And now we can tuck those in our pocket. First I want to grab my bone folder and just open it up just a little bit. I'll put him in here first. And we'll stick this one in next. And so this one I'm tucking in just a little deeper, and then we have this dangle kind of dangling outside. So there is our two pockets that we just created here. And these you can then tuck in your journals. You could also gift them as a replacement for a birthday card or gift card. Plenty of place on the back to make a little sweet message if you choose to. So those are two ideas that you can use these for, but they're just fun and easy, and you know, for me, I really enjoy making them and creating with the papers. So I hope you enjoyed this. I will be back with another project. Loaded tag will be coming up soon, so I'll be back soon. See you again. Thank you so much. And if you stuck with me till the end and you haven't subscribed to my channel, I am a small creator trying to grow. I would appreciate it if you would just give me a subscribe. I would love it so much. I don't do a lot of videos, but I try to do videos for every project that I have in my collections. And so if you would do that, I would really, really appreciate it. Thank you so very much for your time tonight, or day, or evening. So we'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.